Today we're trying the breakfast buffet at Roomers Baden-Baden Autograph Collection in Baden-Baden, Germany. Roomers is a modern design hotel that opened in 2016 and was designed by Italian architect and designer Piero Lissoni. The hotel has 130 rooms and suites along with a spa, gym, rooftop infinity pool, and a Pan-Asian restaurant Moriki. Breakfast is served inside Moriki with both a full buffet and a separate made-to-order menu. So let's see what they have. Starting with the seafood section, they had herring, smoked salmon, and a few different condiments. The smoked salmon was easily one of my favorites. It tasted fresh, had a good texture, and I definitely went back for more. Then you have the hot food section with things like meatballs, bacon, and eggs. Everything here tasted fine, but it was probably the most standard part of the buffet. There were also around 8 to 10 different types of cheese, so there's a pretty good selection if you're a cheese person. Their cold cut section was also pretty solid, with pastrami, roast beef, ham, salami, and a few other options. The quality of the cold cuts was noticeably better than what I normally expect from a hotel buffet. But probably my favorite part of the entire buffet was the superfood section. There were goji berries, sunflower seeds, peanuts, and a bunch of other seeds. I pretty much tried everything here. They also had a good yogurt section along with fresh fruit like pineapple, melons, and more. The pastry section was relatively simple. There were croissants and several different breads, but there wasn't a huge selection of pastries. They did, however, have an actual honeycomb where you could get fresh honey, which was a nice touch and something you don't see at every hotel breakfast. But what made this breakfast much better was the made-to-order menu. There were several different egg dishes available and I tried two. First was the creamy carbonara eggs. It was really good and honestly did taste like a breakfast version of carbonara pasta. I also ordered the Roomers Classic, which came with whole grain bread, avocado, and a poached egg. This was another really good option. They also had a pretty large made-to-order coffee and tea menu, and I went with the matcha latte, which was good as well. Overall, I thought the breakfast at Roomers Baden-Baden was really solid. The standard hot buffet and pastry sections weren't anything particularly special, but the seafood, cold cuts, fresh fruit, yogurt, and especially the superfood section were all very good. And I think the made-to-order menu is what really elevated the breakfast above a typical hotel buffet. I tried a little bit of almost everything and there really wasn't much that I disliked. For a hotel breakfast buffet, this was definitely one of the better ones I've had. Roomers Baden-Baden breakfast gets a solid 8.5 out of 10.